Hello everybody, I hope you can hear me okay. Here I am in my studio and I just wanted to show you something up here. Keep calm and make art. Took me a long time this morning to write that backwards so that it was going to be visible on the video. So I hope you can all read that nice and clearly. So what I thought I'd do today is just go through a few things that I'm up to, and I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to answer any questions at the moment because it's just me, so excuse me if I carry on talking and answer any questions afterwards. But here we go. First of all, I wanted to show you, this is the painting that I have been working on recently over here. I was intending to crop it quite vertically, and the reason I'm still looking at it is because I really want to simplify this elephant and make him more of an abstract shape. So this started off when I'm looking through my sketches. Let's see, here is one of my sketchbooks. Hopefully you can see that, it's just in pencil. So this is an elephant bull sketched in South Africa, and this was the sketch that I really used to get the elephant bull here. But I have a look at a whole load of sketches. I've actually started marking my sketchbooks like this. So here is one from Tanzania. Sorry, this is going to be backwards, but there we go. So I've marked on here all the animals that are sketched in this particular sketchbook so that I'm not wasting time looking through thousands when I need to find an elephant. But here's another sketch. This is from Tanzania. This one I actually like just as a sketch, whereas the other one that I showed you, I'm more likely to use that sketch of the animal in a painting. So when I'm painting, I'm actually using my golden fluid acrylics, and I'm working on watercolor canvas, which is great. I can get a lot of the effects that I would normally use on watercolor paper. I can get them on a canvas as well. So that's very effective. And I use it exactly, I use those acrylics in exactly the same way as I would when I'm painting with watercolor, for example. So what I wanted to do, let's have a look. I'm going to try and turn my screen around now and show you. Let's see, here we go. So I'm going to have a look at this elephant shape and see if I can simplify it. So I've basically got, I normally start elephants with their spine is very high. Let's see, maybe I have to make these lines a little darker so that you can see them better. So very high spine coming down to the tail here, and here we go, the back leg there, lots of, don't worry too much about that. A high shoulder again, belly round here, and then I'm just going to put one ear in over here like this, down to there, and the trunk coming off this way. So I made that look more like a leg, but there we go. And then the ear turned over. So if I'm to try and simplify this, I want to get rid of some of these lines. So I'm thinking I'm just going to, let's just take this and make sure that this is in shadow, and then the back of the trunk would be in shadow as well. Back of the trunk in shadow, and the pieces of the belly here. I'm going to include vegetation, so I don't really want to show too much of the legs, but there would be a leg here. And then the spine, the tall spine here. I'm going to come down here, and obviously all of this down here would all be in shadow. So let's just put that front leg in there. Tails coming down here. So when I look at that, now I can try and simplify it even more. So I can say, all right, here's the ear. Let's start from here, and we're going to go like this. And welcome to anyone who's joining me, by the way. I'm just showing how I take a shape of an animal and try to simplify it further to include in my painting. So I'm at the moment trying to simplify the shape of an elephant here. So there's the trunk, there's the ear, here's the back end. We're going to have here's the spine line, that's very important. And then the rest I can kind of almost do this, you see, and say that we're going to have some shading here and here and here. And now I'm noticing I've drawn the ear too low. So it's just a process of trying to get all of this right. So let's try that again. I'm starting the back end this time because that seemed to be more successful the first time around. So here we go, we've got the back end of our elephant, and I'm gonna go to the fine lines again. It just helps you keep everything together. I love these pens, by the way. They're Zig memory system writers, and there are still a few out there in all kinds of colours. I have a whole bunch of them, but I believe that they've stopped making them in a lot of colours now. So I just bought up bulk buying. This is my version of bulk buying. It's not toilet roll, it's pens. So I got a bunch of those, and I found some recently at Blix online. Shouldn't be telling you that really, in case you go and buy them all so that I can't get any more, but there we go. Right, so let's make this ear the correct height. You see, this was too low down here, and I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to go back to here, put the shadow in, put the trunk in here. There we go. See, the trunk, this would actually be stopped off here, and then we've got the tusk, which I would only put in at the very end. So if you think about it, I'm going to have a whole bunch of vegetation coming across all of this, and I want this shape here to look like an elephant without having to show too much of the detail. And that, of course, is the secret, is trying to get the right shape. What I'm going to do, sometimes I find that it's actually much better to, let's turn this around again. Okay, sometimes I find it's much better rather than practicing relentlessly, is to just go ahead and do it, especially if you're not trying to get 100% accuracy of every wrinkle in the skin and every hair that you see. So what I'm going to do now is the enjoyable piece. I'm going to put some paint on my paper. So let's move things around a little bit here. Take the sketches away. I'm going to leave this one here just so that I'm having a look at it. Here is a board that I prepared earlier with my watercolor canvas. Sorry, with my watercolor canvas. It's just stapled to the edges here, you see. And sometimes when you staple it down, you get a little bit of wrinkling on it. But what I do is I literally take a 2-inch wide brush and I put clean water all over it, and it dries very fast, much faster than paper, and then it's ready to be used. So let's see here. Move a couple of things over there. I'm going to turn the video around so that you can see it a little bit better. Here we go. And just so I know where I'm going, sorry, I'm getting a funny message there. Just so I know where I'm going to, I hope you can all see this. It's giving me a strange message about rotating my phone, but there we go. All right, I'm going to put the elephant in here just in a very rough way, so that I know where it might be. So I'm just going to go that line of the spine. You may not be able to see these marks. They're actually not really meant to be seen. They're just very, very fine. Oops, curve that over there. Down here. He's got his ears out. Might be able to see a little bit of the other ear on the other side. And a little bit of, oops, I've done that tusk way too thick. Let's take that out. Let's see, I've got ear here, coming down here. I've got the trunk coming down here. And I've got a bit of a tusk coming out there. Okay. Now, let's scoot this over here. Some water. 2-inch brush. I love working with this. Right, so I've got cobalt blue. You can see that. I've got Naples yellow. This one, always such a mess. I don't understand why, but there you go. And I've got quinacridone magenta, which I love. Right, just going to put my painting shirt on. Yesterday I managed to tip paint all over myself. So today I'm wearing my shirt in the studio. Okay, now let's see, we're going to move, I'm going to move, first of all let's do some mixing and put some water on the palette. So, I've actually got quite a lot of water there, but I am using a big brush, so never mind. Now these 3 colours make lovely greys and greens, and it all depends how much you put in. So we're going to start, whoops, let me be careful about my mixing because I'm wobbling my tripod here. Some Naples yellow, quite a lot of that actually, in fact all of it. There we go. The magenta's very strong. See, I'm just taking a little piece, a bit more than that. There we go, but it's a very strong colour as you can see. And then the cobalt blue. And look at that already, you get these salmony colours. Obviously if you add more of the blue and the yellow you get greener. Now I'm going to make this fairly dark. Because remember, it's going to dry much, much paler than it looks on the palette. And as I said earlier, I'm sorry if I'm not answering any questions, but it's just me here at the moment, so I may have to answer them later if anybody has questions. So now I'm going to move the water and the paint out of the way. There we go. I'm going to move this out the way and put my board back here. And I'm going to put it on a slight angle, not too much of an angle. In fact, I might raise it a little bit more. There we go. Let's just put it on there. I do paint mostly flat and not on an easel. Move the water over here. Now, one of the things I'm going to do first with my clean water is I've put clean water on my brush. I don't want it sopping wet. I'm literally going to I'm going to be careful around the elephant, but I'm going to put a few marks, oops, get that hair out of there, a few marks on my paper like that. I am now going to take this, and you can see how these colours, they're not totally mixed, which is just fine, you know. You don't have to have every colour mixed. Mixing on the canvas can be really interesting. So I'm making sure I'm picking up quite a bit of this colour. And then I'm going to actually just draw some lines. I'm going to go across areas that are wet and areas that are dry, and you can see how this colour is shifting, how it's flowing, which is a beautiful thing, the thing I love most about watercolour. And you know, you can't really be in control of watercolour 100%, which is maybe why I like it, because I am a bit of a control freak in the rest of my life, as those of you who know me well might realise. So let's see, it's also quite difficult to talk and paint at the same time, but I'm giving it a shot. So I know I need lots of vegetation down here, so I'm just going to let this pool and let it drip. And you see how this is, the colours are spreading across the paper where it's wet, leaving marks where it's dry, granulating, and the three colours are now separating in this wash, which gives you a beautiful wash, especially if you have picked three colours that will work well together like this, and so it's really worth experimenting. I love mixing my greys and neutrals out of a yellow, a blue and a red. All right, let's see what I'm going to do. And now I'm looking at the side of my paper because I want to see where is it wet and where is it dry, because I know that the marks are going to be totally different if I paint them on the dry surface than if I paint them on the wet surface. Now I'm going to come in here and I think I'm going to put another piece of colour here. This is spreading slowly down the page here. And I'm just looking at it, standing back, looking at it as it happens. Now at the moment I'm thinking that these marks are they're separate, but they're too regular, you know, like this. So I need to do something about that, and I'm going to take this brush and use it on its side. I don't mind splatters. I'm going to just do this down here as well. And let's see, what else? Let's go down here. And if I want it to spread a little faster, I just tip my board. Okay, but you want to be careful that it doesn't spread too fast, because then you just get drips and you don't get that granulation in the colour. So I prefer to not let it drip too fast down the page. Okay, and I'm just using this to show some vegetation here. I don't want, let's see, right now, let's see, we're going to take a smaller brush here, and in my last couple of minutes here I'm going to paint some of the elephant. So I didn't put any water over the elephant itself, and I want him, because it is a him, to merge nicely with the vegetation, because despite their size, elephants can be extremely difficult to see. Let's see, I'm looking back at my drawings up here at the moment, just to see where I'm going with this. Dropping a little bit more colour in where I need it. Okay, now I am remarkably, surprisingly happy with that, which is pretty much a miracle on Facebook Live. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean my brushes, I'm going to let that dry, and then I will add some of the magenta to it. So I'm thinking that I might try and do this once a week. So I'm going to check the comments, see if this is a good time for people, let me know. and you can join me again next week at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which I think, if you're watching in the UK, that will be 7 p.m. because I think your clocks change. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, keep calm, make art. We'll get through this, and in the meantime, let's paint. Bye.